Everyone who is trying to get into identity and access management is asking these days one question: which product should I learn? What certification I should do to get into identity and access management? Instead of answering that question directly, I went and scanned through the job postings on different websites across 5 markets, mainly US, UK, India, Australia, and Europe. The answer is not the product or certification. It's completely different than most think. It is the fundamentals, processes, and the concepts of identity and access management that are most asked in those job postings for identity and access management implementations. In this video, I want to break down across these 5 markets what products being asked, what roles are being discussed, that you will get an idea why I always stress about that concepts and processes of identity and access management lay the solid foundation before you can get into learning any product. Of course, you need a product to learn such fundamentals and concepts. That's why you can learn them for free along with the concepts and the breakdown of those concepts using hands-on setups in the Simplify IAM community. The link is in the description. I have used all my 18 years experience to set up these labs, free concepts. There are over 850 members so far who are together learning identity and access management and going towards landing a job in IAM. The way I did it is I searched for specific terms like identity and access management, IAM, and I've chosen 3 products like SailPoint, Okta, and Entra ID. For reference sake, there is no bias towards these products. There are very good products in IAM space which are also implemented by different companies for their IAM use cases. You can use the pretty much same strategy to find out what job postings in identity and access management in the location you are located if you are not from these 5 regions that I'm showing it here. If you see, there are around 36,800 job postings that I've seen over the last 1 month when I searched across the websites using cloud, using a web crawler with my keywords. And for these countries, of course, the highest region is being United States. What stays constant across these job postings is the concepts and the processes. Of course, there is a little bit of experience required, but if you are trying to get into an IAM, your existing experience will also be useful and leveraged. How to do that? There are a lot of discussions happening in the Simplify IAM community. You can check it out there. First, let's look at the country or markets. US is dominating across these 5 markets with respect to identity and access management jobs. There are over 20,000 plus jobs being posted or across the job websites, especially dominating the LinkedIn over the last 1 month. The filter was for last 1 month. And the keyword I have used is different keywords like identity and access management, IAM engineer, SailPoint, Okta, Entra ID, also some product related specification keywords I have used while doing the search. And the next dominant markets are India and Europe. The markets being smaller, the countries like UK and Australia have shown lesser job postings. Like I said, there are 3 to 4 keywords I've used along with the 3 products, SailPoint, Okta, and Entra ID. There might be more postings if you search across the keywords and products. The general gist of this particular breakdown across the global market is it's not US or across these 5 markets. IAM is a skill that's being asked everywhere and being hired every day by hiring managers and by companies across the globe. It's a skill that is in demand. The question you should rather ask is what products and what job postings that are being posted in the location where I am. Based on that, you should learn the fundamental and the process and the concepts first using the free labs available. Now, let's look at the product-based job postings across these regions. Since the job postings are more, obviously, when I search for the 3 products, like I said, it's a disclaimer. You could search with other products that you might be learning or you are already working in IAM. Like I said, I have only searched for these 3 products. In US alone, SailPoint dominates, which means the identity governance and administration. There are disciplines in IAM like EHM like that. If you see more products like SailPoint, Okta, and Entra ID are dominating in some markets, it could be that governance side of the implementations and job postings related to identity governance might be more. Here in US, clearly SailPoint dominates and Okta and Entra ID out of these 3. Then comes India, where SailPoint and Okta are relatively similar. The other product, Entra ID, you don't see much. In Europe, Entra ID dominates or it's more prominent compared to Okta. SailPoint and Entra ID are majorly being asked for as a product skill. UK, again, SailPoint and Okta takes more slice of the cake, if you can put it that way. And when we come to Australia, there is a clear dominance of Okta, at least in the job postings in this year or in this last 1 month compared to SailPoint and Entra ID. So do you see the problem? If someone says that learn SailPoint, learn Okta, learn Entra ID. If you end up learning SailPoint, but in the place where you are, the SailPoint related job postings are not many compared to Okta, Entra ID, Saviynt, and whatnot, then maybe the energy that you put in the return of rewards might not be much. Try to do a little bit of strategic analysis on what products being asked, but the basic argument still holds. Fundamentals, the concepts, and how the processes are implemented in IGA or CIAM still holds. As long as you learn those and you solidify those, then you could learn any product and clear any certification easily. So that's the core of this particular discussion we are having now. Let's look at some of the basic foundational skills that are being asked. I have analyzed along with my assistant Cloud for this data analysis. There are around 6 skills that came out on top. The first one is identity lifecycle management, which is employee or non-human identity lifecycle management. The processes like joiner, mover, leaver comes into picture in this. And the other concept is user provisioning, access provisioning, and deprovisioning, troubleshooting, support related roles in IAM asks for this skill. Then access certification and review processes from the audit standpoint is also mostly asked as a concept that came out in this analysis. Role-based access control, which is a very big topic on its own in IAM. It's also one of the backbone of the governance of employees, especially. The other skill, which is not much implemented as such across the IAM, but it's also very important when it comes to audit strict organizations, which are like in the financial domain and insurance domains. Segregation of duties is a big topic, especially now when it comes with the AI agents. There should be a clear demarcation of access given to each AI agent. So segregation of duties or SOD is a topic as well. And of course, when it comes to CIAM, the skills like single sign-on, multi-factor authentication are being asked, but underlying the processes and protocols like SAML, OIDC is also very important while understanding these topics. Like there could be other skills, but the core concepts cluster still remains around these concepts. And all of these concepts you can learn for free in Simplify IAM community. Check it out. It's built on very good community feedback as well. Recently, it's updated with more concepts and more learnings. Now that we looked at how you can establish these concepts and fundamentals, let's look at what is the market in terms of compensation and what certifications in addition asked in I. Let's go to the last tab. For example, this is a rough range. It depends really on your experience and your previous experience, and also what you can bring to the table from your previous job, along with what skill set and how much fluent you are in identity and access management. Also, it could be that if it's a junior role or analyst role or in senior role, the salary ranges in this 95,000 to 180K. In some cases, it's even more. In UK, there are different types more. Sometimes it's contractual job postings are more available. Yeah, these are the salary ranges, but it could be different. If you look at the certifications, CS really like one of the most asked, especially because it's also could be that it's most asked in the senior roles. That's why we see that as a vendor neutral dominant certification that's being asked. Of course, there are product specific certifications. When you look at the job postings related to Entra ID, the most asked one is SA300 and Okta developer certification from Okta. And of course, SailPoint IIQ as some engineer and architect certifications. And their other product from SailPoint is Identity Security Cloud, which is ISC, which has its own certifications. Based on my experience, these certifications does not matter much if you don't have the understanding and solid fundamental understanding of the IAM. But these certifications would definitely help once you got into an IAM role. They could really add as a credential if you want to grow faster in the identity and access management. So the final takeaway is the order is important. Concepts and fundamental and foundations is important. How IAM works, how IAM interacts with other systems, how IAM teams talk to other teams who are not aware of what identity and access management is. That comes first. Then comes the probably product, because that's what you're going to implement on or you are going to define the processes on. Then comes the certifications, which can propel your growth faster in identity and access management. If you want to know the skills breakdown of this data, I've put them into an Excel sheet. The link is in the description. You can download it. It's in the Simplify IAM School community. The file and breakdown is available along with the free labs, free concepts. If you like the video and it has helped you, please share and subscribe. See you in the next one.